June, the Gurney Weslake 289 V8, a small block Ford engine reimagined for dominance. The story begins with the Ford GT40, a car created to topple Ferrari's dominance in endurance racing. By the mid-1960s, Ferrari had claimed multiple Le Mans victories, and Henry Ford II wanted to change that narrative. The GT40 Mark I was Ford's answer, a low, aerodynamic machine powered by powerful V8s. Yet as the racing rules evolved, engine displacement was capped, forcing teams to innovate rather than simply rely on brute force. Enter Dan Gurney, a man who was not only a legendary driver, but also an innovative engineer. Recognizing the limitations of stock Ford cylinder heads, Gurney teamed up with Harry Westlake, the British engineering genius, renowned for his groundbreaking work in airflow and combustion efficiency. Together, they envisioned an engine that would redefine what a small block V8 could achieve on the world stage. The collaboration focused on the 289 CI Ford Windsor block, a reliable base, and enhanced it with aluminum alloy cylinder heads designed by Westlake. These heads were revolutionary. Reshaped intake ports, optimized valve angles, and finely tuned combustion chambers allowed air and fuel to flow with unprecedented efficiency. The result was a V8 that could rev higher, produce more power, and remain reliable under the extreme conditions of a 24-hour endurance race. To further increase performance, the racing version of the engine was stroked to 302 CI, 4.9 liters, equipped with high compression pistons and reinforced with Chevy rods for strength. Custom camshafts were engineered to optimize valve timing, while lightweight aluminum heads reduced mass and improved thermal efficiency. All these elements combined to produce around 440 horsepower, a remarkable figure for a small block engine of the era. The Gurney Weslake engine was not only about raw power. Its true genius lay in endurance reliability. While competitors' larger engines often failed under continuous high RPMs, the 289 V8 delivered consistent performance. Drivers could push hard without worrying about overheating or catastrophic failure. In essence, it was the perfect balance between speed, durability, and engineering brilliance. The first real test came at Le Mans 1968. Pedro Rodriguez and Lucien Bianchi piloted the Gulf liveried GT40 MRQ, powered by the new Gurney Weslake 289. Over 24 grueling hours, the car not only kept pace with Porsche's long-tail prototypes, but ultimately finished 5 laps ahead, demonstrating the engine's superiority in both speed and endurance. The result shocked the racing world and confirmed the genius of Gurney and Weslake. But the story goes beyond the track. Dan Gurney had a vision. He wanted these revolutionary heads available to the public, allowing ordinary car enthusiasts to transform their Mustangs and Falcons into street-capable race machines. Ford executives, however, saw a threat. They feared mass production would dilute the company's control over racing dominance and brand image. The dream of race engines for the people was blocked, leaving the Gurney Weslake technology exclusive to factory-backed GT40s. Despite corporate restrictions, the engine's influence grew. Engineers worldwide studied its design, learning lessons about airflow optimization, combustion efficiency, and lightweight construction. Modern racing engines continue to reflect these principles, a testament to the timelessness of Westlake's innovations. The 1969 Le Mans race would become the defining chapter. Jacky Ickx, known for his precision and daring, piloted the GT40 with the Gurney Weslake engine. As the race unfolded, Porsche's 908 prototypes challenged Ford, and every lap was a battle of strategy, speed, and mechanical endurance. Ickx relied heavily on the engine's high rev capabilities and reliability, pushing the car to its limits during the critical final hours. In the climactic final lap, Ickx employed a masterful slipstream maneuver. Allowing the Porsche to lead briefly, he conserved the GT40's momentum and used the Gurney Weslake engine's superior power to surge ahead. Within seconds, the GT40 crossed the finish line just yards ahead of Porsche, claiming a legendary victory that cemented the engine's status in racing history. The technical mastery behind this victory cannot be overstated. Aluminum cylinder heads enabled higher compression without detonation. Precise camshaft profiles optimized valve timing, while intake and exhaust flows were meticulously tuned to maximize combustion efficiency. Every bolt, piston, and crankshaft was engineered to endure continuous high RPM operation. A perfect example of innovation meeting endurance. The Gurney Weslake 289 was more than an engine. It was a statement that intelligence, collaboration, and daring design could overcome regulations, size limits, and the might of traditional racing powerhouses. It silenced Porsche, defied expectations, and proved that ingenuity can triumph over raw displacement. After the checkered flag fell at Le Mans 1969, the victory celebrations were electric. Crowds cheered, photographers snapped endless photos, and journalists struggled to capture the full story. Yet behind the applause, another story was unfolding, one of ambition, control, and conflict between innovation and corporate power. Dan Gurney had a dream that extended far beyond the racetrack. He envisioned the Gurney Weslake heads being available to the public, enabling ordinary enthusiasts to create race-capable cars. Imagine a Mustang equipped with a 440 horsepower, aluminum-headed 289 V8, a street-legal monster. This vision of democratized performance was revolutionary, and for a moment, it seemed within reach. Ford executives, however, were not convinced. They feared losing control over their racing dominance and brand reputation. If Gurney's heads were mass-produced, private teams could potentially challenge factory-backed GT40s. Safety concerns, liability issues, and the possibility of diluting Ford's image led to a corporate clampdown. The Gurney Weslake heads were restricted to the factory-supported racing program, and public access was blocked. This decision created tension between Gurney and Ford. The collaboration that had brought such technical brilliance to life now faced the harsh reality of corporate politics. Rumors of engine bans, restrictions on aftermarket production, and even intentional suppression began circulating in the racing world. Enthusiasts and engineers alike whispered about what might have been if the heads were available to the public. Despite the restrictions, the GT40 with the Gurney Weslake engine continued to dominate. Its combination of lightweight construction, aerodynamic efficiency, and the high-performance 289 V8 made it nearly unbeatable. The Gulf-liveried cars became legends, symbols of endurance racing excellence, and living proof that small-block ingenuity could rival even the most sophisticated European prototypes. Drivers praised the engine's reliability. Jacky Ickx and Pedro Rodriguez could push the cars at high speeds for hours without fear of mechanical failure. The precise engineering of the aluminum heads, reinforced crankshafts, and high-compression pistons meant that every lap was consistent, every corner could be attacked, and every straightaway could be exploited for maximum acceleration. The story of the Gurney Weslake engine is also one of rarity and collectibility. Original heads are almost impossible to find today. Collectors pay extraordinary sums for authentic components, while museums and vintage racing events showcase the legacy of the GT40 and its revolutionary power plant. Each engine carries the story of innovation, endurance, and corporate tension that defined this era of racing. The influence of the engine extends far beyond classic car circles. Modern engine design, particularly in endurance and sports car racing, reflects lessons learned from the Gurney Weslake heads. Engineers study airflow dynamics, combustion efficiency, and material selection, inspired by Westlake's pioneering work. The philosophy of combining reliability with high-revving performance became a blueprint for future generations. Even today, replicas and tribute engines attempt to capture the spirit of the original Gurney Weslake 289. Workshops in Europe and America painstakingly recreate the components, from valve angles to camshaft profiles. While these builds may approach the original power output, they also serve as reminders of the genius behind the original design. A blend of American durability and British engineering brilliance that few can replicate perfectly. The corporate conflict added a dramatic layer to the engine's history. While Gurney's vision was stifled, the GT40 team's dominance at Le Mans proved that innovation could still triumph on the track. Ford's decision to limit access to the technology highlighted the tension between creative engineering and business strategy. A lesson repeated throughout the automotive industry to this day. For fans, the engine became a legend not just for its performance, but for the story surrounding it. The Gurney Weslake 289 represents what could happen when bold ideas collide with corporate caution. It is a tale of unfulfilled dreams, extraordinary achievement, and the delicate balance between innovation and control. Collectors often recount the thrill of seeing a GT40 with a Gurney Weslake engine start its roar. The unique sound of the aluminum-headed V8, combined with the car's aerodynamic body, creates an unforgettable experience. Every rev, every acceleration, every shift reminds enthusiasts of the triumphs at Le Mans and the engineering genius that made it all possible. Beyond the collector scene, the engine influenced a generation of racing engineers. Lessons in valve timing, combustion chamber geometry, and airflow management became standard considerations for endurance racing engines. Westlake's meticulous approach to airflow and Gurney's understanding of high-performance requirements created a template that would echo through decades of motorsport. Today, the Gurney Weslake 289 is celebrated not just as a power plant, but as a symbol. A symbol of what happens when ambition meets expertise, when talent meets opportunity, and when vision challenges convention. It is remembered as the engine that could outperform expectations, defy regulations, and silence one of Porsche's most formidable creations. For the racing historians, the 1969 Le Mans victory is more than a checkered flag. It is a study in engineering excellence, strategy, and driver skill. Ickx's mastery behind the wheel, combined with the flawless performance of the 289 V8, turned the race into a lesson in how technology and human talent converge to create legendary moments. Even decades later, the debate continues. What if Ford had allowed Gurney's vision for public availability? What if enthusiasts could have experienced the power of a Gurney Weslake-equipped Mustang on the streets? These unanswered questions add mystique and legend to an already extraordinary story. To truly understand the brilliance of the Gurney Weslake 289, one must dive deep into its technical heart. The engine was not just a powerful V8, it was a masterpiece of design and engineering. At its core was the aluminum cylinder head, a Weslake innovation that revolutionized airflow and combustion efficiency. Each intake and exhaust port was carefully reshaped, allowing air and fuel to move seamlessly into the combustion chamber, while exhaust gases exited without resistance. This careful attention to airflow resulted in more complete combustion, higher power output, and improved reliability during long endurance races. The cylinder heads alone were a work of art. Lightweight yet incredibly strong, they reduced the overall mass of the engine, which allowed the GT40 to handle better through corners. High compression ratios were possible without the risk of engine knock, giving the V8 its signature high revving character. Coupled with bespoke camshafts designed to maximize valve lift and duration, the engine could breathe like no other small block of its time. The choice of Chevy rods was another stroke of genius. While seemingly simple, these rods provided unmatched durability under extreme stress, allowing the engine to maintain high RPMs for extended periods without failure. The crankshaft was reinforced, the pistons were forged for maximum strength, and the lubrication system was optimized to keep every moving part running smoothly, even under the punishing heat of a 24-hour race. But engineering alone could not guarantee victory. Strategy played a crucial role. Jacky Ickx, a master of endurance racing, understood the importance of preserving both the car and the engine. While the Gurney Weslake V8 could deliver incredible bursts of speed, it was the driver's skill in managing RPMs, gear shifts, and fuel consumption that allowed the car to maintain its edge over 24 hours. Every lap was a calculated balance between aggression and preservation.
Pit stops became another battlefield. The GT40's team meticulously monitored tire wear, brake condition, and engine performance, ensuring that each stop was as efficient as possible. Meanwhile, Porsche and Ferrari crews struggled with mechanical gremlins, often losing crucial minutes to repairs. The reliability of the Gurney Weslake engine allowed the GT40 to stay on track, consistently delivering lap after lap of performance that rival teams could only dream of.
Driver anecdotes from that era further illustrate the engine's impact. Jacky Ickx himself described the power delivery as smooth yet relentless. The torque from the small block V8 allowed for incredible acceleration out of corners, while the high revving capabilities meant that top speed could be maintained without the engine faltering. Pedro Rodriguez noted that the car responded instantly to throttle input, a responsiveness that was rare even in purpose-built race cars.
The Gurney Weslake 289 wasn't just any engine. It was pure engineering genius. With its lightweight aluminum heads, perfect valve timing, and rock-solid reliability, it let drivers like Jacky Ickx and Pedro Rodriguez push the GT40 harder than ever, lap after lap, without worrying about failure.
Even off the track, its impact was massive. Engineers and car enthusiasts studied every detail, learning from its clever design and relentless performance. It proved that smart ideas, collaboration, and fearless innovation could beat even the biggest obstacles.
Decades later, the roar of the Gurney Weslake 289 still echoes in garages, on racetracks, and in the hearts of anyone who loves cars. It's more than an engine. It's a legend, a reminder of what happens when vision meets brilliance. If you love stories like this, hit subscribe and join us for more incredible car legends from the past and present.